And we step into the Humanities, Arts and Culture panel with the first speakers being creative producer Adela Sinclair and Cristina Bejan, our IRF board member and staunch supporter over the year. She's the executive director of Bucharest inside the Beltway, started here in Washington, D.C., and now in Boulder, Colorado. And this presentation will be centered on BiB's move to New York as another chapter of the platform. Cristina, Adela, can you join us?
Thank you so much, Teo. I'm going to say a few words about BiB Bucharest inside the Beltway and also Adela Sinclair, our new creative producer. This is more of an imperial expansion, not a permanent move to New York City. We already have a presence in Los Angeles with Amanda L. Andre, Filipina, Romanian-American playwright and multidimensional creative. And she and I met in Washington, D.C. right around when we founded Bucharest inside the Beltway. So it all starts there. Our efforts have continued promoting local and international grassroots artists and creatives. And the project that started with the Romanian Cultural Institute of New York in 2020, Romanian Women Voices of North America, evolved into a traveling bookstore. And I want to say thank you so much, Teo, for being with us the past 2 summers at the Wharf in Washington, D.C. The books by Romanian and Romanian American, Romanian Canadian authors sold like hotcakes. It was exhilarating and also stunning. Adela and I ran that book booth, not this past summer, but the previous. We also had Dominica Radulescu with us. And the past 2 summers, we've had spoken word performances. We took little breaks from the book booth to perform our poetry and creative writing on stage with local spoken word poets this past summer. And the past 2 years, the book booth has moved on to the Colorado Romanian Festival in September, always a success. And then the remaining books, we're sent to Connecticut in a collaboration with the Honorary Consul of Connecticut, Donna Bucin, and it was at the Romanian National Day Festival that they had the final BiB book booth selling books by all of these authors. And the books that remain are now housed in the local library in the inaugural Romanian corner of any library in the state of Connecticut. So it was such a joy and honestly unexpected journey that this literary effort took. And along the way, Adela and I met because she was one of the featured authors. And then we started this collaboration that's now become one of my most important friendships. And that has given us the opportunity to provide the BiB platform in terms of PR and scope to Adela and her creative efforts in the New York City area. Adela is a published author and also a spoken word poet. And I'm going to not say anything more about her. I want to hear everything. Adela, please take the floor and congratulations. It is an honor to work with you.
Thank you so much, Cristina. Can you hear me, folks?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Cristina, Teo, all the organizations that are represented here. It is such an honor to be here and represent BiB from New York City, dialing in. I just wanted to start to say that I'm an educator with 23 years of educational experience here in New York City. And my trajectory into the world of teaching started with a very unfortunate event that took place on September 11th, 2001. Everything shifted for my life, and the next week, Monday, after that tragedy in New York, in America, in the world, I was teaching at the local art and design high school next to my residence. I never looked back. I propelled myself into the world of sciences, literature, French civilization, culture, and I've been doing so since that week post 9/11. Not to bring us down, I'm a poet after all, and I want to keep up with the spirited talks and presentations that have been happening throughout the day today. I just wanted to show you Cristina's collection and my collection side by side. And Kai Verspeperet published in America and Romania, Cristina, so proud of you. And we are both published by the same publication house called Finishing Line Press. And I just wanted to say that the trajectory of the poet, the teacher, the educator, the artist is such that we have a personal story to tell in the world. This is Cristina's grandmother and grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, and an uncle, correct? Walking in the streets of Bucharest. And this is my family. My collection is entitled La Revedere, my grandmother's. And it starts in the home. It starts in the first 8 grades of education that I was able to have in Romania. I left in 1987, pre-revolution, and I moved to Roosevelt Island. And it's a personal story. It's a beautiful story. It's a difficult story, but I think it has to be told. It has to be represented. Everywhere I go in the world today, even though I've been here for 35 years, my Romanian story, my upbringing, my roots, my heart, my blood cells, everything that runs through me and is around me is represented in every walk of life. So I bring BiB, I bring my artistry, I bring my culture, my Buni, Bunicile, Bunicul, and everybody with me everywhere I go. Rest assured, Romania, proud Romanian over here. And I just wanted to share that my second collection, entitled The Butcher's Granddaughter, has been accepted for publication, and I'm waiting for the contract to come in the mail. And there we go with Bunicul and the story that's so personal yet universal in the world today. Thank you. Long introduction. We're going to start, and I will start by sharing my screen. Hopefully it's the right. Okay, this is it. I'm going to present. Thank you for bearing with me. So Bucharest inside the Beltway, as Cristina mentioned, I had an affinity, a love, a respect, a deep understanding of Cristina, and much appreciation for being included in the Voiceful 8 during the pandemic as a cultural, artistic endeavor supported and put together by Cristina, BiB, and the Romanian Cultural Institute of New York City. We traveled far, we were on Zoom, and we reached a large audience. And now that I'm housed still on Roosevelt Island, BiB has moved to the Big Apple. I'm presenting today a little bit about our team, our mission, 2023 in review, our values, collaborations, events that took place, new projects. And here we go. Our team is comprised of all voluntary basis folks, and all with the hearts open and the time put in and efforts of every single one of these women. Cristina Bejan, our creative director and founder. Amanda Andre, from the creative producer from Los Angeles. Myself here in New York, I have joined this year, and Roxandra Pop, who represents from Bucharest. Please read about us on our website, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. BiB is dedicated to supporting performance artists and arts in New York City and throughout the United States. Our mission is to provide a platform for emerging and established artists to showcase their work and connect with audiences. We strive to foster a vibrant and inclusive arts community through our exhibitions, events, educational programs, by promoting diversity, creativity, and we aim to enrich the cultural landscape of the city and beyond. Pardon me, I'm covering part of it. Okay, so the partnership that had started here in New York City is a very solid one, and it's with Riva Gallery, the Roosevelt Island Visual Arts Association. Visit us online. Since 2003, I have been creative curator for the gallery on Roosevelt Island, and it seemed like a no-brainer that BiB and Riva will collaborate on any future events, past events that we did together. The space in New York City, as anyone that lives in the area knows, space is everything. Your zip code is everything. And here in 10044 zip code, we have trees, we have space, we have a river. We're surrounded by the East River on both sides, and it just lends itself to art, to performances. And the Romanian community is vibrant, very strong on Roosevelt Island. It has been since the 80s. The painters who are hanging, their works of art are hanging on my walls and are represented there. Boborelul, Ioan Popoiu, Dan Nistor, Georgette Sinclair, my mom, is a painter as well. It is a very, very, very rich collaborative effort. So what has happened at Riva Gallery in the past has been the book launch that Roxana Kazan so eloquently spoke about, edited by both Dominica Radulescu and Roxana Kazan. The Immigrant Voices in the Pandemic has launched at Riva Gallery this past autumn. Through BiB support. There were book sales, beautiful performances, and we're invited back anytime. And okay, that branch of BiB will continue to be vibrant and thrive in the near future as well. We are expanding BiB projects with new regions and translation work. I have been busy at work translating some of my contemporaries from Bucharest. And I'm very happy that Cristina and the performers from Cristina chime in, the performers at the Wharf in DC, we performed 4 pieces of work by Radu Vancu and Claudio Comartin from Bucharest, performed by spoken word poets from DC. If you can just help me out too.
Sir Harvey Fitz, who's one of the host poets for Busboys and Poets, the open mic, if you're a DC spoken word person, that's familiar to you, and David Thurston, who is not just a poet, but also visual artist. And yeah, it was a great success. It was really amazing.
Yes. Thank you so much, Cristina. And collaborating at the level that we are collaborating is with local communities, but the ripple effects, as I said, the personal stories, the ripple effects of working in the local community is vibrant, and it transmutes and transforms all the neighboring boroughs and so on. Let's go to the next slide. Let's see. Our values, of course, are those of integrity, excellence, collaboration, and innovation. Speaking of collaborations, representation by some of our collaborators, very grateful to the Romanian Cultural Institute, the Ukrainian Institute of America, Riva Gallery, Salma Gandhi Arts Club in downtown Manhattan, the New York Public Library, the Brooklyn Book Festival, Poetry Forge, and St. Francis College. I can't even begin to unpack this slide. I'm just gonna say that there's been so much support throughout the boroughs. From Brooklyn Book Festival, we had a booth, a table at the Brooklyn Book Festival, which is one of the biggest showcases of any new literature, from poetry to fiction to memoir, in the tri-state area. And it takes place in downtown Brooklyn, near the courts in downtown Brooklyn, Montague Street. And St. Francis College is one of the promoters and supporters of the Brooklyn Book Festival. And I represented them at the booth. I represented BiB, and it was a great success. I need to go to the next slide. Throughout the year, from moving in July from the wharf in DC with the BiB booth and everything that represented, and spreading the book lovers in the whole of the United States and abroad, there was a very beautiful project that I was brought on to by Claudia Seria, and Cristina was also involved in the Shattered Symbolic Gestures that was sustained and supported by the Romanian Cultural Institute in New York. Basically, I was able to read poems written for Ukraine, for the Ukrainian people. And I met in New York City at the Romanian Cultural Institute and the Ukrainian Institute of America some very significant activists, Olena Jennings and Vera Sirota, who are friends. I can consider them friends at this point. And together we are continuing to write in support of this mission. Olena was also kind and gracious enough to read her new work at Riva Gallery. Subsequently, we had the Immigrant Voices book launch, in the pandemic book launch, that was spearheaded by Dominica Radulescu. And there was a beautiful fundraiser in New Jersey for their local church, and it was an evening called Folk and Poetry fundraiser. Let's go. And these are some of the visuals from our events. I'll let you just gander at the photos, and we have the Romanian Cultural Institute represented, Riva Gallery, the Ukrainian Institute of America, and some of the collaborators that I spoke about previously. I want to thank you very much for your time and your the stage, Cristina, that we shared in Washington, D.C. And Theo, thank you so much for being there every moment of the way and inviting me to this presentation. I'm very honored. I'm going to stop my share. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Keep reading the poems, keep reading the books, and keeping us in business, because everything that I said is personal, is everything at the microscopic level, on a cellular level.
Thank you for the shout out, and you were also an inspiration, both of you, and not just at the booth, but sharing your experience with our intern Emma Stan that covered the booth. It was quite inspiring for her to see successful Romanian American writers having such a wonderful voice in that context. And yes, the books were flying off, and everything it was impressive. And I mentioned it during there was a shout out also on my part yesterday at the opening with the Romanian Cultural Institute that we were worried 5 years ago about not having readership for Romanian American writers or people interested in this. In the topics, and now we're seeing that there is interest. It's just a matter of being present publicly at the book fest and at the public events in major urban centers.
And I just want to give another shout out, if I may, in conclusion. In World Literature Today, I believe 10 pages of Radu Vancu's Kaddish poems, which is his latest collection, are being published and translated by Mircea Cătărescu's translator of Solenoid, Adam Sorkin. Am I saying it? Sean Cotter, sorry. Forgive me. Yes. So the word is spreading. Literature from Romania is being read. Literature from the diaspora is being read. And I'm just very proud and honored. Thank you so much, everybody. Mulțumesc din tot sufletul și vă doresc sărbători fericite.
Merci, Adela. And Theo, if I could just say two things, please.
Go ahead.
2024 is Bucharest Inside the Beltway's 10-year birthday. 10 years, yes. So stay tuned for all of the celebrations we will have. And I also want to conclude with a clarification, because I've noticed this happens a lot. Bucharest Inside the Beltway is not your traditional Romanian cultural group platform at all. It is the only one inspired by Romania. So Bucharest Inside the Beltway was born in Bucharest in 2008 when I collaborated on a cultural festival with Ruxandra Pope. And I got to work with fearless Romanian artists. I became very involved in the local scene in theater. And it is that fearless risk-taking energy that I witnessed, and that I thought we really need this in the United States. And so we promote Romanian artists in the States, but also artists who have that fearless grassroots, scrappy, I'm going to take over the world and start the revolution energy. So if you check out our socials, it's not just Romanian artists, but it's anybody who we believe deserves BiB promotion. So thank you so much.
Of course. with that, we'll transition to another organization that has done much to promote Romanian literature.